Have you ever noticed how certain truths don't make sense until they do? Or how silence can sometimes scream louder than any words? Or how the things we once laughed at now feel like echoes of something we didn't yet understand? There are quotes that sound clever when we were young, but only grow roots as we grow older. They lie dormant inside us, waiting. Until one day, through heartbreak or laughter, through loss or wisdom, they finally bloom. They say wisdom comes with age, but what they don't say is that it often arrives uninvited, wrapped in quiet moments, sharp regrets, and bittersweet lessons. It cuts through the noise, not like a gentle whisper, but like a clean blade through confusion. This isn't about romanticizing the past or basking in warm nostalgia. It's about the clarity that only time can bring, the sharp, unfiltered kind that forces us to see things as they are. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. It sounds simple, but how often do we dress the truth in politeness? In fear? In silence? Only with age do we realize that truth isn't always elegant, but it is freeing. You begin to crave it more than comfort. You begin to see it not as a weapon, but as a form of peace. When someone loves you, the way they talk about you is different. You feel safe. You feel at home. True love, not the one wrapped in fantasy, but the one rooted in presence, speaks in tone, not just in words. You know it when someone describes you with warmth in their voice, not perfection in their adjectives. With time, you stop chasing grand gestures and start cherishing small safeties. The reason I talk to myself is because I'm the only one whose answers I accept. Humor? Perhaps. But there's truth here. We spend years seeking approval, bending to expectations. And then slowly, quietly, we learn to come home to our own voice, flawed, funny, and finally enough. The truth is rarely pure, and never simple. It's messy, it's inconvenient. But truth, like light, reveals. It may sting, but it never blinds. It shows us who we really are and who we've been pretending to be. A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. And yet, the truth always arrives. Tired, perhaps. Late, maybe. But it comes, and it stays. Never tell the truth to people who are not worthy of it. Some hearts are not safe places. Some ears do not deserve our most sacred thoughts. With time, we learn the difference, and we learn to protect the parts of us that once gave too freely. Perhaps one did not want to be loved so much as to be understood. Because what is love without understanding? It is the most human ache, not to be praised, but to be seen, to be known, without having to explain yourself again and again. The truth will set you free, but first, it will piss you off. Freedom isn't always a joyful thing. Sometimes it arrives with grief, with anger, with the sting of realization. But it's still freedom. When I despair, I remember the way of truth and love has always won. Yes, tyrants may seem powerful. Lies may seem unstoppable, but the truth has a quiet resilience. It doesn't need to shout, it only needs to endure, and it always does. I am not pretty. I am not beautiful. I am radiant. Radiance doesn't follow rules. It doesn't need validation. It comes from knowing, truly knowing, who you are beneath the noise. Facts do not cease to exist because they are ignored. Denial doesn't dissolve truth, it only delays it. I believe in everything until it's disproved. Who's to say dreams and nightmares aren't just as real as this moment? Imagination, belief, myth, they aren't childish. They are human. The mind is vast, and perhaps our dreams carry truths science hasn't learned to name. In a time of deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. And in such times, honesty becomes the bravest thing we can offer the world. A thing is not necessarily true because a man dies for it. Sacrifice is not proof. Belief is not fact. Wisdom lies in asking, always asking, what's behind the curtain. Books are mirrors. You only see in them what you already have inside you. We read not to learn who others are, but to remember who we might be. Be mindful, be grateful, be true, be kind. Simple? Yes, but not easy. These are lifelong practices, not traits. You return to them again and again, each time a little wiser. Man is least himself when he speaks in his own voice. Give him a mask and he will tell you the truth. Because vulnerability is terrifying. But disguise, even for a moment, can free the soul to whisper what it has always wanted to say. Men stumble over truth, then hurry away as if nothing happened. Because truth demands change, and change is uncomfortable, easier to walk away until it finds us again. I lie to myself all the time, but I never believe me. A quiet confession many of us understand too well. But with time, we begin to unlearn the lies we told ourselves to survive. Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty and compassion. If everyone did, it would change the world. And maybe, just maybe, it still can. The truth is stranger than fiction, because fiction has to make sense. But life doesn't follow logic, it follows the heart. The messy, beautiful, aching heart. The truth doesn't change just because it's hard to swallow. It waits. It doesn't flinch. And eventually, it teaches. You cannot move forward until you let go. Of pain, of blame, of the story you keep replaying. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's the key. Rather than love, than money, than fame. Give me truth. Because truth endures when everything else fades. The things you do for yourself are gone when you're gone. The things you do for others, those stay. That is your legacy. Not what you owned, but who you lifted. The best way to find out if you can trust someone is to trust them. Risk is the cost of connection, but the reward? Oh, it's everything. If you don't tell the truth about yourself, you can't tell it about others. Self-awareness is the beginning of every honest relationship with others and with life. The past has no power over the present moment unless you give it permission. You can always begin again, right now. If you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh. Otherwise, they'll kill you. Humor softens the blow. Truth wrapped in laughter becomes wisdom people can hold. Better a cruel truth than a comforting delusion, because real peace can only be built on what is real. To be fully seen and still loved, that is the miracle of human connection. And if you've ever felt that, even once, you know how precious it is. If even one of these words stirred something in your heart, a smile, a memory, a small yes you didn't expect, then you rewrite where you belong. Thank you for spending these few quiet minutes with us. If it made you feel something true, something deep, we invite you to gently like this video, subscribe to RiseAndQuotes, and maybe even share it with someone who's earned every wrinkle, every laugh line, and every sharpened truth life has to offer.